Hey, what's up everyone? It's Christina here from the Glaser Tutoring Company, and today we're going to be doing a wonderful word problem that teaches us how to do systems of equations with two variables. So, let's have some fun, right? Let's get to it. Now, in this one, it says we have a number, right? And this number is 9 more than another number. Now, twice the sum of those two numbers is 10, and all we have to do is just find out those two numbers. Now, when you're working with systems of equations and you have multiple variables, the best piece of advice that I could give you is to just label out your variables. Now, in this case, there's really no real-world application here. We're just talking about numbers, right? But it's nothing to do with making cookies or going to an amusement park. And usually, if they give you those type of examples, we'll be a little bit more flourishy with our variables. But here, since we're just talking about a number is greater than another number, we're just going to call it as our numbers, right? And it doesn't matter what letters you use. You want to use A, B, C? Go right ahead. X, Y, Z? Sure. Usually what I do is I always like to use X because that's the general variable that we always use. And then if I use X, I usually go to Y. But if you want to go in A and B or two other letters, that's fine with me. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say let X, so we have X be one number, right? We're going to say that X is going to represent our first number, so maybe number 1. And since I don't know the other number, right, we need to find out those two numbers. I'm just going to say that the Y is the other number, so maybe number 2 on the list. And we just have to find out what X and Y are. Now, the rule of thumb is if you have two variables, just like we have here, we need two equations. So that is the rule. Two variables, two equations. And I just want to point out that I could not have stated that this was X as well for the second number. Because if I say that both of these are X, that means that they're the same number, quantity-wise. So I would have 2 5s or 2 6s or 2 7s, but I don't know that. Maybe one's a 6 and one's a 3. I don't know. So that's why you have to use different letters. And two different letters, two variables, two equations. So let's write out our first equation. So we have equation 1. And I'm just going to reread it again. Now, the first sentence tells me that a number, I guess this X value, is 9 more than another number. Okay. So let's go all the way back to when we first learned PEMDAS, right? And we had those clues, right? Technically, if you see the word is, that means that that's an equal sign, right? If something is that, it's equal to each other. So we're going to use this to our advantage. We have a number, which we're going to label as the X guy, right? So we know that X literally is, that's equal. So X equals 9. So literally I'm going to write the number 9. And more than, is that addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Yeah, that's addition, right? If you're more than something, all you got to do is just add it up. So it's 9 more than, so 9 plus another number. And the other number that we wrote down is Y. So look at that. Easy as that. So we got X equals a number is 9 more than another number. And there you go. Now let's find out the second equation. So we got equation number 2. Keep in mind, two variables, two equations. Now it says twice. Okay, so if something is twice, right? If you do something twice or 3 times or 4 times, twice always means multiplication, and it's always multiplied by 2. So 3 times more, that's times by 3. 4 times more, times by 4. So we know that we're going to be multiplying something by 2, and what are we going to be multiplying by? The sum. Use those words. Sum means addition. So twice the sum of those two numbers. The sum, we're going to be adding those two numbers, so that's X and y. So let's start that off. So we have x plus y, that's the sum. And we know that twice the sum. So we know that we have to take that sum, right? This is the sum. And we're going to multiply it 2 times. So maybe I'll put a 2 in front, right? And there's that word is again. Keep in mind that is means just equal to. So this 2 times the sum equals 10. And now you got yourself 2 equations. Now, maybe if you wanted to, we could distribute this 2 to both of these guys, just to make it look a little better. So we have 2x plus 2y equals 10. But if you didn't want to simplify, you could leave it like this and work with your 2 equations. That's perfectly fine. Now we have to use these equations to get rid of one of your variables. Now what I see is I already have an equation that's x equals this whole thing, right? X equals 9 plus y. In my second equation, I have 2 times x. Well, what was x? Oh, x was 9 plus y. So I can substitute in 9 plus y into the x value. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. If you're substituting, that's the method that you're going to be going into. So you're going to be substituting. So we're going to be using equation 2, and we're going to substitute in equation 1. So instead now we have not 2 times x, but 2 times 9 plus y. And this is going to be now plus 2y equals 10. I just pick up where I left off on equation number 2. Just like we did before, we got to distribute. So this is going to be the same thing as 2 times 9, which is 18, plus 2y equals 10. I guess we can, simplify. We got 2y's over here, so that's 4y. So we can say 18 plus 4y equals 10. And now get the y's by itself, so I'm going to minus 18 minus 18. And let's see. This gets canceled. Bye-bye. And 10 minus 18 is what? 8? Negative 8? Right? Negative 8. And then this equals 4y. I think so. Right? 10 minus 18? Yeah. And then just divide on both sides by 4. And we have our first value. So we know, this cancels out. Boop, we know that y equals a negative 2. Now, we have to use our equations to see what x equals. But, we already have equation 1 where x equals whatever the, 9 plus y. So, I'm going to use that equation. So you use your answer and you just plug it in to solve for what you're given. So here, we're just going to say x is going to equal 9 plus the y value is a negative 2. And this is just going to be straightforward, right? X is going to equal 9 plus a negative 2. That's 9 minus 2. That's a 7. And there is your second letter, or second number. So here's your 2 numbers. We have a 7 and a negative 2. And if you want to, you can just double check to make sure that your equations, these numbers fit in your equations. So for example, if I added x and y up, 7 plus a negative 2 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, so that checks. And then the other one checks as well. 9 plus -2 is the 7. So we are good to go. What do you think? I hope this helped. Thank you so much for viewing the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to help us out. Just gets the word out there that this YouTube exists in the educational world. Good luck on all your tests and quizzes, not only in math, right? In any subject that you're having, I believe in you. Keep studying hard, as that's the truly way that you can succeed. Just keep working hard, keep studying, and I believe in you guys, okay? Also check out our website. We have PDFs for you that that can help you out in your classes. We just want to be here for you guys, and you could always count on us to help you out. So, with that in mind, thank you. Also, I would like to give a huge shout out to Maricela. Thank you so much for being a member to the channel. Your support means a lot to my brother and me, and we're thrilled to have you be a part of this amazing community. Memberships are open on the channel, and if you want to become a member, just click that join button, which can be found below on any video if you're watching on your desktop, or it can be found on the overall channel page too. For all of you that want your name shown in the video, don't forget to choose the gold tier or higher. Thank you so much for considering, and have a great day. Talk to you in the next lesson. Bye-bye!